it's Debra Jason with Creative Whispers of the Heart. And today I'm painting a really, really easy ocean scene using only alcohol ink markers. Starting with baby blue, I'm just sketching in some color. Going across the page, which is, by the way, 4 inches by 6 inches. This is photo paper. And now I'm going to take some 91% isopropyl alcohol on a cotton swab and blend the alcohol ink marker across the page. Just going left to right. I'm not worried about saturating the whole page with the color because some spaces in between look like clouds. Now I'm taking some cobalt blue, just a little touch of it. And you can see that a little touch goes a long way in creating the blue sky. Again, with the cotton swab, going across the page, adding some alcohol to the cotton swab, and just going left and right. I did speed this up a little, so that's why my hand is moving so quickly. Now I'm going back with some of that baby blue, and then swiping again with the cotton swab. Just blending everything together. You can see it's pretty simple. Now I'm going to take a cobalt blue marker and create the horizon. I'm not great at drawing straight lines, so I'm using a ruler and just drawing that line across the page with cobalt blue. And doing it another time to make it a little thicker. And maybe one more time. So now I have my horizon. There you go. And next, I am going to fill in the bottom where the ocean will be. Really lightly touching the paper with that cobalt blue and sketching in some color. Now I'm taking turquoise green, because the ocean isn't just blue. It's blue and turquoise, dark and light colors. Taking my alcohol, putting it on a microtip applicator, because when I get up toward that horizon line, I don't want it to bleed. I don't want that ink to bloom, so I'm using that little tiny microtip applicator. And then I switched to a cotton swab. And again, speeding this up, you can see I'm just blending that turquoise green and the cobalt blue, going across the page to create the ocean. I'm back with the microtip applicator because I want to get up by that horizon line again to blend the ink a little closer to that line. And then I add some more color. Again, this is a little bit of cobalt blue and the turquoise green. So far you can see I've only used 3 colors, baby blue, cobalt blue, and turquoise green to create this very easy ocean scene. Taking my cotton swab and blending it all together across the page. I decided it needs a little bit more cobalt blue up at the top because the ocean is usually darker by the horizon and then gets lighter as it goes down toward the beach. So I added some more cobalt and I'm blending it in up there and then bringing it down the page to fill in the ocean. I'm not going all the way to the bottom of the page with the ocean because I decided I'm going to add a little bit of sand. For that, I'm using a burnt sienna marker, scribbling across the bottom, taking some alcohol and a clean cotton swab and blending it across the page. I'm leaving a little bit of white space to sort of create that ocean foam. There's a little bit of cobalt blue, just so that it's not totally sandy beach. There's a little bit of color in it with the burnt sienna. And now creating a little bit of that ocean foam. See there? Taking a pointed cotton swab, I'm now creating the sun. I'm lifting up some ink above that horizon line to create a little sun coming up or maybe going down over the ocean. I'd say it's probably coming up. Otherwise, I would have more of an orange and yellow sky. But I'm just gently lifting up the ink so that that cobalt blue doesn't bloom. And this cotton swab has a point on it, so it makes it a little easier. You could use a Fantastics, but this is what I had close by. There you go. You can see there's the sun over the horizon. Now I'm doing a little bit of clouds, lifting up some of that ink above, just with some alcohol on the cotton swab. See there, I'm putting some more alcohol on there, lifting up the color. And that was absorbing a little too much color and putting it back on the paper. So I took a clean cotton swab to lift up back to white and create those clouds up in the sky. Just the little puffy white clouds. And now some sun rays coming off of that sun, just lifting up some white. Here's how it's coming along. Next, what I want to do is add the yellow for the sun. Taking the alcohol marker and filling in the sun, but I want to blend it a little, so I'm using that micro tip applicator, putting a little bit of alcohol on there and blending it and also lightening it up a little bit, putting some yellow in the rays of the sun. And again, being careful that this yellow doesn't bloom with the cobalt blue horizon. Now it's time for a few birds. Just making little V shapes with the micro pen, up by the clouds on the left. And then I move over to the cloud on the right and add a few of them over there. Just tiny little V's that look like birds. Flying above the sun. You can see this is a simple ocean painting. There are my little birds flying high above the sunshine. Now, I want to put bubbles in the water. You could do an ocean wave, but I wanted to keep this really simple, so I'm just putting some alcohol on that toothbrush and spraying it so it can create a few little bubbles in the ocean. It's hard to see here, but I will try to show you a little bit closer. You can see tiny little bubbles in the water. Then I decided that I wasn't really happy with those yellow ocean rays. So I took a cotton swab and I'm going back in and covering them up. It's turning a little green, but not very, so I am going to add a little bit of cobalt blue to the Q-tip or the cotton swab and blend that in just because I wasn't happy with those yellow sun rays. So I'm adding back some blue in there around my sun to create some clouds and take away the rays. Alcohol ink can be very forgiving if you're using the right type of paper, and on this photo paper, it comes back to white pretty easily. Now I'm adding some alcohol to a microtip applicator and just rounding out and softening the sun since I took away the rays. Adding a little bit of yellow, and I gotta be careful there not to have it blend in with the horizon. Touching it up, rounding it out lightly with the small, tiny microtip applicator. Blending in some more sky. Again, just using a cotton swab with some isopropyl alcohol on it. And now I decide I need my horizon to be a little thicker. I did get a little bit of a bleed there when I was playing around with the sun. So I'm going to fix that and just add another line of Cobalt Blue and then gently fill it in, going across the page. These markers are by a company called Craft Gear. A friend of mine gave them to me as a gift, but you can buy other brands from Spectrum Noir or Ohu Ohu that have very similar and sometimes even nicer colors. There I am, filling in the horizon, going across the page, and my painting is done. Here's how it looks with a black mat and with a white mat. Here's a version without a yellow sun, and then a couple of them with just clouds and no sun at all. I hope you'll give this technique a try. Comment below, share it, or of course, don't forget to subscribe.